Good evening everyone and welcome to Gundam News, with the biggest thing happening this week being a quite controversial situation regarding a third-party model kit. Recently, an unlicensed 1/100 scale Acguy Thunderbolt version was announced, and someone brought this to the attention of Yasuo Otagaki, the creator of Gundam Thunderbolt, and let's just say that he was not happy about this. Here is the tweet on the matter. A friend told me about this. There's been no word from Bandai at all, so is this being released without permission? What kind of rules are Chinese Gunpla made under? The plastic model conversion of the Acguy Thunderbolt version has always been a dream of mine, but this, I just can't bring myself to be happy about it. To answer Otagaki's questions, this is definitely not being released with permission, and the rules that Chinese Gunpla operate under are very simple. There are none. As was to be expected then, this tweet garnered a variety of responses, each with their own justification. The main one from Japanese users was that it's bad. Don't buy it, and you should be ashamed of yourself for buying third-party kits and bootlegs because you're not supporting the people who are making your hobby possible. And the thing is, I get where they're coming from. You should try to support your hobby to the best of your ability. And for the author, I can definitely understand him not being happy with this situation. At the same time, I can also understand the other side of the argument, which seems to be mostly made by people outside of Japan. If Bandai doesn't make it, and you want it, it's a design you really like, what you gonna do? This is a situation that I've also found myself in the past, and this feeling only gets amplified if we're talking about the design that has very little, or like straight up zero chance of ever being made into an official model kit. So I can definitely understand Thunderbolt fans kinda jumping on this thing, because let's face it, when was the last time Bandai released a new Thunderbolt kit? Otagaki then followed up his original tweet with this one. Over the past few days, I've heard a variety of opinions about Gunpla, and it was truly meaningful. I love Gundam, and I have deep respect for Bandai for growing it into such a massive franchise, so I'm still holding on to the dream that the mobile suits from Thunderbolt will be officially turned into Gunpla kits one day, and then we fans can all rejoice together. And included with this tweet are images of the Perfect Zeong, Perfect Gundam with the Brabro, the Bull G, and the Zok. This unfortunately makes the situation so much more sad, because I really cannot see Bandai turning these things into model kits. Maybe Bandai will take notice, but I think the more realistic outcome of this is that third-party Gunpla producers are simply enjoying the free publicity. For something more fun then, Sunrise unveiled brand new artwork for the Sunrise 50th anniversary project, and because it is their 50th anniversary, this new piece of art features 50 fan-favorite works. From Gundam, there's the OG Gundam, Char's Counterattack, Gundam Wing, Gundam Seed, Unicorn, and Witch from Mercury. And then for the non-Gundam series, we've got some of my personal favorites, like Dogram, Votoms, Elgheim, Gasaraki, Cowboy Bebop, and Love Life. But that is not everything. They also released 2 promotional videos for upcoming short films. I'll have them linked down below, but I will warn you, they are horror films. The less scary one is Metafear. It's about a girl suffering from nightmares, and then one day they cross over into reality and plunge the city into chaos. The much more unsettling one then is Dice with Demon. This one is about a guy who played a game with a demon to resurrect his wife. And as most stories about resurrecting loved ones, this does absolutely not go as planned. Also, the animation is deliberately creepy and very much adds to the creepy atmosphere of this short. In total, 6 short films will be produced. For Gundam X then, we first got a short update for a kinda mini game that they're playing at the Chayamachi Oshi Festival, which is held on the 20th and the 21st. A while back, they announced that they'll be having this activity called Tiffa's Newtype Challenge. So I wondered what kind of activity they were gonna do to, make you feel like a new type, or to gauge your level of new typeness. And well, they decided that it was one of those carnival attractions where you pull a string, which then reveals your price. Draw a rock and you'll get a consolation sticker, draw a G-bit and you'll get a 30th anniversary visual card, or you can get really lucky, your new type powers can be really good, and you'll get a G-bit dome, which will then give you a special prize. Unfortunately, they don't say what this special prize is gonna be, so for the winners, I hope that is gonna be some kind of limited edition Gunpla. And if you haven't seen Gundam X yet, then the official Gundam YouTube channel has some very good news for you. With an asterisk. So, they announced that they'll be releasing one episode every week starting June 20th. So far, so good. But if you go to the episode and you scroll down to the bottom of the description, it says that they will be using machine translations for the subtitles. Please note that this series is currently testing the use of machine-translated subtitles. Why do they always have to do Gundam X dirty? Come on! Haven't we Gundam X fans suffered enough already? But yeah, you know what? You know what's a great idea for a series that's like character-driven and also has some political intrigue in there? Let's do machine learning for it, because that is definitely not going to lose a bunch of nuances or like special meanings or whatnot. Machine translations are great for getting the gist of a message, but a lot of stuff does still get lost in translation. I've seen my fair share of video titles being absolutely butchered because of YouTube's auto-translation feature, which is why I've turned that off for my videos. But anyways, back to Gundam X. With the second Gundam Head Collection, in late October, these will become available in Japanese gachapon machines for 400 yen a spin or $2.50. And the lineup consists of the God Gundam, the Master Gundam, the Wing Gundam Zero, the Epion, the Gundam X, and the Gundam XX. And for some more random merchandise then, in September, you'll be able to buy a variety of Zabi and Char themed stationery. So you'll be able to show off which Zeon faction you support the most. Degwin, Giren, Kycilia, Dozel and Garma, or Char. You can get them on a set of friction pens, A4 clear files, desk mats, cutting boards, stickers, pin sets, can badges, and acrylic keychains. And then there's also these stickers featuring a bunch of random things like Rombarol, Amuro Ray, and Haro. Meanwhile, on the gaming front then, in Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PlayStation, the Full Armor Engage Gundam C plan has joined the fray, while on Steam the Riesel Type N has become available. In UC Engage there's a selection unit assembly, allowing you to choose which units to gacha for, as well as a combat power augmentation operation. And then SD Gundam G Generation Eternal has once again reached number 1 on certain storefronts. Once again, giving everyone 3,000 diamonds. And I think this definitely had something to do with the Stargazer story event being added, along with a bunch of new units. And what was also added were the Zeta Gundam A New Translation Challenge main stages. Clearing these will give you an SSR Psycho Gundam, an SSR Amuro Ray, and even more stuff. But perhaps the most exciting thing they announced for Eternal is that they'll be doing a roadmap reveal livestream on the 24th, where they'll be talking about all of the upcoming events and whatnot. I'll have the link to the livestream down below, and next week I'll of course be covering the main topics that they talked about. And that's not even the only livestream they'll be doing. There's also a livestream covering all of the upcoming Bandai card game stuff, which will include the Gundam card game, Dragon Ball Super, Union Arena, the One Piece card game, the Digimon card game, and Battle Spirits. At the moment of recording, this live stream is still a couple of hours into the future, but by the time this video is all edited and uploaded, it will be available. So I'll have that link down below, and also next week I'll cover the highlights. In other news then, the new livery for the life-size Unicorn Gundam is currently being applied and will be officially unveiled on June the 20th, and 2 special appearances were announced for 2 Gundam-related art exhibitions. On June 27th, Yoshikaze Yasuhiko and Hirotoshi Sano will make an appearance at the Hirotoshi Sano exhibition, and on July 20th, Yoshikaze Yasuhiko again and Kiyotaka Oshiyama will make an appearance at the Yoshikaze Yasuhiko exhibition. As for the things you could get this week then, over at the Gundam base, the high-grade Gundam F91 Afterimage Clear version was released on the 13th. Going for 1,870 yen, 12 US. As the name indicates, it is a clear version, but it's slightly different from the usual clear versions. Rather than being completely clear, there's like little sparkles inside of the plastic, and this is done to recreate the feel of the F91's special metal peel-off effect. To increase its cooling performance, the F91 can shed the outer layer of its armor, which then becomes an afterimage that confuses both enemy pilots and their sensors. So definitely a cool thing to display next to your standard F91. And on the 17th, you could build this thing to some appropriate tunes, because on that day, you could buy the Blu-ray for Hiroko Moriguchi's 40th anniversary tour called Your Flower. You could get just a Blu-ray for 7,500 yen, 47 US, or you could go for the limited edition, which goes for 11,000 yen or 69 US. This includes the Blu-ray, 2 CDs with concert audio, a 20-page concert photo book, 2 postcards, and a special box to put everything inside of. As for the songs she sang, the Gundam highlights are Eternal Wind and To the Aqueous Star with Love, together with Satoshi Takabe. For this week's reading material then, we got 2 new tankobon volumes. Volume 7 of Gundam Rest Horizon and Volume 24 of Gundam Aggressor. For the apparel news then, Strigg kicked things off with a set of cooling zip-up hoodies and cool touch t-shirts. Definitely sounds like something nice to wear in Japanese summer, at least one of the 2 available colors, because both of them are available in wide base white, perfect, or Char black, which might not be that ideal to wear in summer, at least not when you're out in the sun. But anyways, the hoodies go for 15,400 yen a piece, 96 US, the t-shirts go for 4,800 yen a piece, 30 US, and all of them will become available in physical Strigg stores on the 20th. And then releasing on the 27th is the Gundam X 30th Anniversary Collection. It features the Gundam X 30th Anniversary logo, as well as a brand new Gundam X Divider logo, which looks really good. You can get them on a white or black t-shirt for 4,730 yen each, 29 US, a tote bag for 2,750 yen, 17 US, or a glass for 2,200 yen, 14 US. And I gotta say, when I first saw the thumbnail, I thought that there was a candle inside of the glass, but it turns out it's just a frosted glass. Bankore then did not release acrylic stands this week. Shocking, I know. Instead, they announced these 2 new backpacks, styled after either Char Aznable with red highlights or Zeon with moss green highlights. They've got a bunch of compartments and are advertised as being perfect for anything from everyday use to traveling. They're slated for an October release and can be yours for 14,300 yen a piece, 89 US. And that has been all for this week's Gundam News. As always, a big thank you to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great evening, and I'll see you all next week with more Gundam News.